already, please set your phones to vibrate or silence them. We also have refreshments over there to my left for your enjoyment. Again, I'd like to welcome you as an agency. We want to thank you for taking the time to come here this morning. We've got a big excitement thing coming up to the detention center. Captain Bond's going to tell you a good bit about it. Councilman Dunn's going to speak. We have a victim's advocate. D'Amica Patterson's going to speak. We're going to have a question and answer session at the end. It'll be a short thing. Sheriff McBride, due to an illness, is not going to be here, but he sends his thank yous and appreciation for everybody showing up, because this is a big deal for them. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Councilman Dunn, who's going to say a few words.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. As Chairman of Anderson County Council, I'd like to assure everyone that the Council supports Sheriff McBride and his team as they work to carry out new programs to meet the needs of our community. 2 years ago, County Council and the Sheriff's Office leadership began the process of assessing the current state of needs for our local criminal justice system. The results of this jail and justice system assessment through the National Institute of Corrections in 2017 and the information of our Criminal Justice Coordinating Council in 2018, Dixie County Council adopted a resolution recognizing the importance of the Stepping Up Initiative, a national movement to safely reduce the number of people with mental illnesses in detention centers. We are now seeing great progress as individual agencies and initiatives are realized. With each new initiative, Anderson County's criminal justice system moves a step closer to greater efficiency, enhanced public safety, and ability to do more readily meet the needs of our citizens. On behalf of the Anderson County Council, I want to express my sincere gratitude to Sheriff McBride, his team, his personnel, and the dedication and passion they have for the protecting both rights of those affected by crime as well as those detained. And really looking forward to this system. I won't be missing that. There's a young lady here, Miss Casey, right over there, has really done a great job rounding all this up and speeding all this up. When we first come up with this proposal about doing this, and I really appreciate what all she's done for the county and everybody working this, and I think it's going to be a great day.
I'm going to welcome next to the podium the victim's advocate, D'Amica Patterson.
Good morning. Our Victim Services Unit offers support to victims of crime in the jurisdiction of Anderson County, as well as the municipalities of Belton, Honeypath, Williamston, Ida, Pendleton, and Pelzer. So in addition to that, for years, our Sheriff's Office provided those services with only 2 victim advocates. I'm proud to say that we applied for a VOCA grant, Victims of Crime Act, and we received that grant, and we have hired 3 additional victim advocates, one of which is bilingual. In addition to the grant funds to cover the cost of the personnel, it also covers all resources needed to continue to provide exceptional services to the victims of crime in Anderson County. So we want to thank County Council for their support in that initiative. Thank you.
Thank you, D'Amica. Next is going to be Captain Bill Vaughn with the Anderson County Sheriff's Office Detention Center.
Good morning. I would like to personally thank everyone who is in attendance today. Anderson County is excited to pass along information about our mental health screening initiative. Anderson County Sheriff's Office is pleased to push out to the public the great stride that is a result of partnerships with other agencies to better the criminal justice system. This initiative could not be possible without the support of County Council. A little bit of the backstory. As a result of the administration change at the Sheriff's Office, one of the main focuses was overcrowding within our local detention center. Just to give you some recent statistics, in 2018, for the entire year, our monthly average population was 412. 412 individuals. Our operational capacity is rated at 206. Add one more person to that number and we would be operating at 200% operational capacity. In an effort to look at addressing the issue, Sheriff McBride reached out for assistance from the National Institute of Corrections for an evaluation. This process began in the spring of 2017, early on in the administration. carried through the summer into the fall of 2017, with the evaluators actually coming to Anderson County for 3 days to do an assessment. During that assessment, they had a town hall meeting in the month of October, and a final draft of a report that was produced in November of 2017. One of the benefits to this study, it gave Anderson County a pathway to navigate and analyze the criminal justice system as it pertains to the detention center. The development of the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council was one of those steps, which has been very beneficial to Anderson County. This has led to strong partnerships with other agencies, which is why we're here today. Mental health is an issue nationally. Anderson County Detention Center has been able to partner with Anderson, Oconee, Pickens Mental Health to better address detainees with mental health issues. Through research, we have chosen to use a self-reporting mental health screening. We've chosen one that consists of only 8 questions to reduce the strain on current staffing. As a part of this initiative, we have not increased our staff since we had a soft landing on January the 9th. January 9th, we tried to start getting our feet wet. With 22 people who were brought into the detention center, 20 received that mental health screening. Out of those 20, we had 7 that were eligible to be referred to the mental health liaison. As of January the 14th, this initiative became mandatory within the Anderson County Detention Center. This process consists of detention officers asking questions, reading them verbatim, and only being able to ask them twice. In answering the affirmative to 2 of the first 6 questions, it gives us an initiative to put it in the hands of mental health, and a positive on the 7th or 8th question also gives us a referral to mental health. The goal behind the mental health screening is to identify, intervene, and treat. This process is being conducted nationally, and our statistics appear to be consistent with their results. This is extremely important because, first, it's the right thing to do. But more importantly, it also involves the safety of our officers that work inside the detention facility. It is the responsibility of officers to maintain safety and security of the detainees. The mental health screening can also assist in classifying detainees to minimize dangers, both to the folks that are detained and to our officers. This is not an attempt to diagnose and release. Data in our facility has shown the individual who shows signs of some type of mental health issues in our facility tend to stay longer, with that costing 2 to 3 times as much as opposed to those individuals who do not show signs of some type of mental health illness. My professional experience, some of the crimes that are committed by those that have mental health issues are theft, indecent exposure, shoplifting, trespassing, breach of peace, public disorderly conduct. With this initiative, we can get the data that we need to see what Anderson County residents face, while increasing the potential starting point of treatment that may occur. The recidivism rate could be positively affected through the treatment. Reducing recidivism has been a mission of the Anderson County Sheriff's Office. This is proven with the implementation of the GED and Work Keys program. This was also a partnership with Anderson School District 5, Adult Ed. We had 4 sentenced inmates graduate last year from the GED program, and we've already started a new GED class this year. I can't wait to see what we're able to do with the collaborative efforts that we have developed. This is a pilot program that is extremely important to this agency because it potential effect it could have to the community. However, most importantly, reduce hazards that our men and women working in the detention center, they face every day. Those remarkable officers face the adversity of overcrowded populations that fuel violence inside our facility while dealing with the mental health component. In closing, proudly announce this initiative. It is the position of being stagnant and not evolving that is more concerning. Anderson County is being progressive and innovative with the ways to improve our system by developing partnerships. We look forward to continuing to develop partnerships that benefit the community. One mind, one heart, one county. Thank you.
Real quick before we start the Q&A session, our victims advocate has a prior engagement that she has to attend to, so she's going to step away. I'm also going to welcome Staff Sergeant Kevin Matheson up here. He's with the Detention Center. He and Captain Yvonne will take care of any of the questions that you guys have.
Any questions?
Captain Yvonne?
Yes.
Can you tell us what the questions are? What are the inmates being asked as they come in?
I'll have to look at that form and get it to you. I don't know verbatim what the exact questioning would be, but it's a minimum of 8 questions. And the reason why we chose the 8 questions is to reduce the time in the booking process. We have done during the trial, we have found it takes anywhere between 1 minute and 8 minutes to ask these questions, so that we only have one intake window, one booking window. So we didn't want to go too far in depth and prevent officers from getting back out there and patrolling the streets.
What are some challenges the facility faces with implementing this new program?
That is a very good question. Where we currently have set up our mental health liaison, we took the original 1956, when the building was originally constructed, took the visitation area there, threw up a wall, and that is where we currently have our mental health liaison kind of stationed. That presented a problem that we're trying to address now. We have no room to do any programs, any new programs. That's taken away from attorneys being able to use that room, because that room prior to this initiative was used for our canteen for our detainees. That's where it was being stored, and also used by our attorneys, whether it be the public defender, solicitor's office, or private attorneys to come in and talk to their clients. So we're one less room as a result of this.
Did you have any mental health evaluations before this initiative?
We had a mechanism in place where it really wasn't a self-reporting upon intake, but as our medical providers were to talk to the detainees that were in there, they were able to ask for some type of resource or talk to the mental health liaison. But this is a push to get it to start to identify as soon as they come in our facility.
What about the inmates that are already in the facility? Did you go through and do self-reporting with them before starting the intakes?
We have not. We have not for the majority of them. However, our detention officers, supervisors, things of that nature, have known of certain inmates that potentially could have or some mental health issues that would have caused them to be in the affirmative with this mental health screening. I know personally we have went back and at least done 4 of those to find out, and it's based on I've actually had an attorney say, that knew about this initiative before today, could you do this initiative with my client? And we've done that.
So in your test you did 20 and you had 7 out of 20. That's kind of a large number.
35%, just the first day when we were just trying to get our feet wet. And that was, like I said, on the 9th, and on the 14th it went out mandatory.
So that, in the future it could be a lot more for anybody coming in.
The data will show, I imagine there's going to be a large increase in it gives us identifiers and where we can actually rate and we can actually see what we're dealing with instead of just saying, well, I'll bet you this happens. This is going to give us the statistical data that we need.
Do you mean seeing counselors or meds being prescribed, or how does that work?
What we do, because as detention officers, we're not clinicians. We're just doing a referral to mental health. Mental health being a great partner of ours, we're passing that information along for potential treatment on the outside once they get, because a lot of folks that may come in and answer in the affirmative that require a mental health referral, or we're passing along to mental health, they may actually get a bond or actually be back on the streets. So what we've done is we've gotten a pamphlet from mental health to include with them if they were released prior to being able to see our mental health liaison, we're at least giving them a pamphlet for the Anderson, Oconee, Pickens mental health.
So is it upon them, I guess, after they're outside to go seek help at that point then?
The only thing that we can do is give them the information where to receive help if needed, once they leave our facility.
I guess what's the hope then?
It's going to be based upon family, friends, and then that person taking it upon themselves.
No more questions?
Yeah, I'd just like to say thank you. And one way I know that practically can make a huge impact as a human service provider, Salvation Army, when someone gets released, they already have that contact with mental health. So what that can do moving forward is reduce the amount of impact that person's going to have between getting help. So thank you for doing that. Someone shows up and they're homeless, they already have contact with mental health. That's going to save us 2 to 3 weeks sometimes, which 2 to 3 weeks is a big deal when someone's in crisis. So thank you.
Yes, sir.
Again, we want to thank everybody for coming. This is a big deal for the Sheriff's Office, and Sheriff McBride takes passion in serving the citizens of Anderson County as best he can. Remember, the refreshments are over here, and we appreciate everybody coming.